Hi everyone, I'm Zan from Fell and Fair, and we wanted to do a quick video that goes over the archery rules, some do's and don'ts, some safety things for a weekend warrior. So first and foremost, the archery, that what we allow is we allow bows up to 35 pounds. They have to be medieval or medieval looking type bows. We allow recurve and longbow type bows. We have to use the flathead sponge tip type arrows. Now, everything when you're simulating combat is a balance, right? Safety is our priority, but we also want to have fun. And the bottom line is you're not going to have fun if people are getting hurt. So the reason we chose the max poundage of 35 pounds, which is higher than most games allow, is because we choose the softer sponge type arrows. And so it was a trade-off, but it allows for very fun type gameplay. So if you don't have the sponge tipped flathead type arrows, those arrows will not be allowed on the battlefield. Now, as a safety thing, you always want to check every time you pick up an arrow. You want to check for the safety of the arrow. So, and we will do a check at the beginning of the event, and then we will also check weapons periodically throughout the event. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the head is firmly attached. There is no splintering in the fiberglass shaft, and that the fletchings are fully attached, and that the knot is attached as well. So it's a quick, usually what you do is you pick it up, check the head, check the shaft, check the feathers, you're good to go. Takes 2 seconds. Although I don't recommend, unless you're wearing gloves, actually running your hand up the fiberglass shaft, because if there is splintering, then you could get a fiberglass splinter in your hand. So do a visual inspection, or if you're wearing gloves, you can usually feel it. Now, when we are using archery, now remember, you can check out our combat video for the more detailed combat rules, but the viable target areas are limbs and torso. You're not supposed to aim for the groin, you're not supposed to aim for the head, or for hands and feet, which is not as much of an issue with archery. But what this means, and this is the big temptation of archers, is when there's a shield wall or a battle line, archers want to stand behind their own line and lob arrows over their line into the enemy's line. Now, the downside of that is when the whole army is sitting there with their shields up or in a crouched position with their weapons, the only place that you can hit is the head. So we've given archery a lot of bonuses. They do 3 damage, which is more damage than any other weapon in the game, and we allow 35-pound bows. So the trade-off with that is you're not allowed to shoot in that way into a shield wall. The other rule of thumb that we have is if you are shooting your bow and you have to lob an arrow, that is, you have to hold the tip above your head so that you're arcing the arrow into the enemy, then you're too far away and you need to get closer. You shouldn't be arcing arrows, because once you bring that into effect, you're no longer shooting straight, then the arrow drops. You're lobbing the arrow overhead height. So arrows really shouldn't be flying overhead height through the battlefield. So if you have to bring the arrow tip above your head in order to lob it, just stop, advance a little closer, or reposition yourself. Now, when you're fighting, like I said, the temptation for archers is to stand behind the battle lines and lob arrows into the enemy's line. That's how it was done in medieval times. We totally understand that, but that's not how we do it at Weekend Warrior. At Weekend Warrior, archers, we recommend going to the flanks, trying to circle around, shooting into the sides, or getting close enough so that you can have really, big opportunities and large targets, so you can aim for the torso of your enemy. The other thing that we want to be careful of is, especially if this combat is very close and you're very close to the combat, and there's somebody with a shield and they are fighting someone else, these arrows will bounce off of shields. Now, this end is totally safe. This end is not. So the last thing you want is for an arrow to bounce off your enemy shield and then come back in the face of your ally. So if somebody is fighting with a shield, they are in close proximity to one of your allies, just don't shoot at them, because with Murphy's Law, odds are the worst thing's going to happen. You're going to miss their whole body, you're going to hit their shield, it's going to bounce off, hit your friend. So take those targets of opportunity, make opportunity for yourself. So continue to flank, continue to maneuver, wait till the enemy's not looking, shoot at somebody who's engaged in combat somewhere else that doesn't have a shield. Just take all those into consideration, because we do want to make sure that, once again, this is only fun as long as everybody's safe and healthy. If somebody gets injured, you feel bad, they feel bad. We don't want to happen. We don't want that to happen. So once again, arrows do 3 damage worth of damage, which is the highest of any weapon in the battlefield. And once again, be safe, and rule of thumb, don't arc that arrowhead above the top of your head. If you're doing that, you just need to stop and get closer. Thanks, guys. If you have any more questions, ask your faction leaders. ask the staff and the NPCs at Weekend Warrior. We can either give you the right answer or direct you to somebody who knows. We'll look forward to seeing you there.